Hey, remember when we made this? We drew it in a 2:1 scale, and then we drew it again in a 1:2 scale. Well, we are now going to recreate this object in Autodesk Inventor. So to get started, first thing you're going to do is press File, New, hover over it, don't click, Part. Blank canvas. It's beautiful. Now what I need to do is get some of those dimensions open. So what you should do is open up that slideshow that we used to draw it, and you should put it in another screen that you can see. You've got two screens too. So I'm doing that. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw the outline of my object. So I'm going to start a sketch, and I'm going to start with my front view. So if I review my front view, it's going to be 1 inch tall, 1/4 inch wide for that rectangle, and then another inch for that triangle. So I click on my XY plane, and I'm going to just get my line tool. Get that line tool cooking. I'm going to start at origin, 0, 0. And I'm going to go up. No. I'm going to use a rectangle tool. To use the rectangle tool, you can hover over and read the directions, or just listen to me. You click once, and then without dragging, no drag, you're going to just move the mouse and look at where the dark blue box is. That's the one that you can actually type the number in without any clicking or anything like that. So right now, my 0.215 is referencing the width of my object. So I'm going to go and input the width of that rectangle. 0.25. I don't press enter. I don't press enter. I press tab. When I press tab, you see that it is now referencing the height of my object. I'm going to type 1. Looks good. Here, let's get this. Yeah, that's much better. So now that we've got this rectangle drawn out, we're going to finish drawing the profile of the triangle. Now, something I want you to know is that when we're making 3D models, there's no one way to do it. You are adding pieces and you are taking away from those pieces in order to get your object. So here, I'm going to use my line tool. And following this bottom left-hand corner, if I'm looking for my front view, it should be 1/4 inch to the right. So I'm going to click at that base point of that rectangle. I'm going to move my mouse until it says 0 degrees. If I wanted to, I could press tab and get into it. Here, I've got the 0 highlighted. I type 0 just to be sure. Then I press tab again, and I get into the width of this line. I'm going to say 0.25. Now, there is a wonderful feature of the line tool. It'll continue letting you draw lines as long as you don't close off the shape. If you close off the shape, you have to re-click the line. So pay attention whether or not there's a line being drawn by moving your mouse. So now I've got my line directly up 90 degrees. I'm going to do another 1/4 inch. Repeat this until you have completed the box. See if you can beat me. Nice. We're on our way. So now I've got this rectangle. I've got the triangle base started. It goes up, goes over, goes down. And now I'm going to finish this. The width of this line is going to be 0.5 inches. Once I got it, press enter. Now I check, oh, there's a purple line. I can still draw. That's great. So now I'm going to connect these points. Boom. We've got our front view finished. Now that I've finished all my sketching, I click Finish Sketch. At this point, you could move dimensions so that they're out of your way. You click and then drag it while it's selected. It's probably the only time you click and drag in Autodesk Inventor. So I'm going to do that so we can see it nice. Oh, that's good. Look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. You know, I don't like this ugly 0 though, so I'm going to click it and I'm going to press the delete button, not backspace. I'm going to press delete. And then I try clicking again, press delete. That didn't work. Maybe I have to go back in my sketch. To do that, I right-click where it says Sketch 1 in my model browser. You see it highlights the sketch I just made. So go to Edit Sketch, and now I click the 0, press Delete. Okay, so now I'm going to finish my sketch again, and it's the way I want it to be. The next step is to provide it with a feature, a 3D element. The tool we're going to use is called Extrude. I click Extrude. Now, once you click Extrude, you are going to have to select the closed shapes to make three-dimensional. So I have the rectangle and the triangle. Now, the triangle isn't supposed to be that far, but Extrude only lets you do one depth for your extrusion. So I'm going to extrude the entire thing in 1 inch. I'm making my way. Here. We've got to just cut that triangle in half, and then we'll have our object. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a new sketch. Now, starting from this corner, I'm going to make a rectangle, and it actually doesn't matter how big it is. I just want it to encompass or enclose or surround the entire area that I want to cut parts of it out. So I go ahead and click. I'm done. Finish sketch. And now I'm going to use the Extrude tool in a different way. Rather than me make new material like it's showing me in my preview, I'm going to change the direction. You should have an icon like that on your screen, even if it looks a little different. And now I have to adjust the depth of this extrusion. So I'm going to change this to 1/2 inch. Now, if it isn't showing red and it isn't cutting it out the way you want it to, what you can do is look for the output area in your options. Join is going to merge all your stuff together. You don't want that. You want cut. So once you cut it, you're good. And now I can use my view cube to see a front view, a side view, and even a top view. Now I'm going to go home to my isometric perspective. Take a picture of this, submit it in Google Classroom, and have yourself a wonderful day.